Welcome to Mended Men's Conversation, life lessons and legacies, where real men have real conversations. In every episode, we dive deep into the struggles, victories, and lessons that shape us as men. From mental health and fatherhood to faith, identity, and purpose, we are breaking the silence and starting the conversations that matter. Between us is over 12 years of professional experience and more than 140 years of combined life experience as fathers, sons, brothers, husbands, friends, and educators. We know that healing starts with an honest dialogue. So let's get real. Let's get ready. Let's grow together. This is Mended Men's Conversation.
Welcome once again. This is another episode of Mended Men Conversations, and my name is Titus Garnett.
And I'm Anthony Washington. Welcome, everybody, to our Friday Mended Men's Conversation.
Now, today's conversation, last week, Anthony, we talked about the morality of this country and of people and how it's affecting us. But even though we may look at it as a whole, we are looking at it through the eyes of Black people. Black men. We're looking at it through our eyes. So when we see things, it's still our personal look at things, okay? The morality we talked about last week is the acceptance of things that would we accept it ourselves, do the comparison of how we do things compared to the morality of public, the morality of politicians, just the morality of ourselves in relationship to what's going on. And to kind of continue that a little bit, we're going to be talking about lying. And one of the things I've noticed and find out is people have a tendency to lie with such verve and such confidence, is as though lie has it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't affect anybody. People say it like it's the truth. And like we've discussed before, the more you say something, the more people start to believe it, but also you start believing it yourself. And people will come out with a lie without even thinking about, man, should I say this? Should I not say this? It's becoming so natural when it comes out of their mouth. You kind of looking at them and say, how do you get your mouth to form those words? Do you kind of understand what I
Look,
mean, or what is your experience with that?
I understand what you mean. I'll say this. This administration we have works exactly just the way you said it. They will tell a lie. They'll tell a lie, but they say it over and over again. And I'll say this much. If you don't know any better or don't do any research for yourself, let me clear my throat.
There goes the vodka. Go ahead.
Every time. It works every time. If you don't do your own research or you don't know what you're listening to, you will believe the lie because they say it over and over again. And that's the way they function. And it's not just a few people in this administration. It's all of this administration. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with somebody. I mean, that's all part of conversation. We talk and we disagree. It's not disrespecting somebody, but it's just owning your own truth, and the objective is to be able to share the truth. But these people don't care about, they have an agenda, and their agenda is to make it seem as they say, making America great again. I'm gonna use their own slogan, you know. But as everybody say, when was America great? When you look back in history, but this is how they function. They lie and they sit there with a straight face and they expect you to believe that. But as I said earlier, you have to know who you're talking to and you have to know what you're talking about in order to realize when you know the difference between the truth and a lie. And these people, I'm not even going to give them credit saying they're masters at telling lies. They tell lies so bad that, you ask them, say, I don't think they believe that shit that's coming out their mouth. That's the way they function. So no, they have no gumption about how they feel about telling people the truth or misleading people because their agenda is what they want to do. and they want to make sure that you believe that Taco Man is the best thing since sliced bread, which he ain't. I mean, if there was a time, I would say Great Depression, this is it. Because you got somebody in office that don't know what he's doing, and his objective is to continue to act like he know what he's doing and mess it up, screw it up. I mean, just the other day he said something a little crazy about inflation. He's okay with inflation. Yeah, well, I
He said,
guess you
I
are.
like inflation. He said, I like inflation. What?
Yeah, but I expect something like that because it does not affect him. The things he do, it don't affect him. Not in the way it affect everybody else in this country. The majority of people.
I heard it was doing an interview with a couple of people in Maine who had voted for him 3 times, the 3 elections he were in. And this one woman said she worked at this company and she worked in janitorial. And this was a white woman, okay? And she says he has no clue of what's going on. Her company she worked for back in January said that they were probably going to shut down. And they're in the process of shutting down now. So she'll be out of a job in 30 days, in about a month. And that she voted for him because he promised that he was going to keep businesses open. He was going to bring businesses to the country. Man, it was just all these businesses he was going to get them going. Well, she's about to lose her job. And she says that she's old enough to retire, but she can't afford to retire. All right. Which is a lot of us seniors who have to go through that. We have to realize that. All right. Now, she says he doesn't have to go to the store and check prices. He doesn't have to worry about the price of gasoline. Hell, he doesn't even know how to go into a retail shop like Goodwill and look for leftover clothing and this and that or whatever. He doesn't have any relationship to what the people who voted for him have to go through. So it's just,
Um,
and now, she says she is disappointed in him and she's kind of upset. But the thing of it is, even though when she was talking, there was no anger in there. It was more disappointment, like, well, it's like the farmers. He screwed them, but they said, well, I'm going to give him a chance to try again. And that's the mentality. These people took that lie, they lived it, and now they know it's a lie, but they still got their fingers crossed. Well, maybe he'll come around. He ain't never come around. And then they said when he was in office the first time, he did some things. But when you ask him what did he do, they can't tell you other than, well, immigration. You know, screw that. By what you do in the immigration, the people who want to build houses, the price is going up because the immigrants who are building the houses are scared to come out and build them. All right. So the country, Anthony, if we take a look at it, and like you had mentioned, they said that the good old days he's talking about was like back during the 50s when white people could roam the streets all nice and that the Ku Klux Klan were okay and that we we had separate water fountains, separate bathrooms, separate restaurants, all that kind of stuff. Where that's to him, that's the good old days. All right. But if we look at it, this country was built on a lie. We talked about it. I mentioned once before. I'm reading books, listening to books regarding the realities of all the way back to the Revolutionary War. They didn't fight that war in the Revolutionary War to free the slaves. They fought that war because there was rebels against England, but they wanted to keep black folks away from fighting next to white folks. And they didn't tell you the truth. Here I am at this age now, finally realizing that the British, they had more slaves trying to fight for Britain, for England, than they did for the United States. But the history book tells us, well, there was Crispus Attucks, the first person to die for the revolution. And they made you think black folks was for it. No, The reason black folks was fighting for the loyalists, who were the British, is because they promised them and gave them freedom. Washington, our good old father of our country, he didn't want no black folks fighting next to his white soldiers. And you had not only black men, you had black women and children who went to the English to fight for them because they wanted freedom. So that gets you
That's
into
true.
how much of a lie was the Constitution.
That's true.
You know, how
That's
it
where it
was
started at.
reported. And they talk in terms of, so here we are celebrating 250 years of what? We're not getting the
Lies.
truth. Lies. That's why you get a damn fool like Orange Man. We got to get a better name for him. The Taco, that orange piece of shit.
The things he do is just asinine.
Why are
Don't
you
make no
going to
sense.
have historically 250 years, which is probably the youngest country on the planet anyway, 250 years, and you're not celebrating freedom, you're celebrating his birthday through a wrestling match out in front of the White House. That's just like, Anthony, if you were celebrating 50 years of marriage to your wife and you put a bouncing thing for kids out in front of your house, it's stupid. Here he is,
Stupidity.
it looks like a playground in front of the White House. That's what he did. He
And you
created
see,
a
have you
playground.
seen a picture of it? You seen a picture of it?
Yeah,
How it look?
it looks crazy.
Stupid.
That's why I'm saying the playground. He looked like he got jumper bars out there, or
Ah, I can't
I don't
recall,
get
but
it.
because they was talking about it, Joe Rogan, and they was saying you got people, professional wrestlers, whatever you want to call it, they're out there outside. It's already hot back there anyway, and then on top of that, you got the lights, you got
Yeah,
bugs.
yeah,
That's supposed to be. That's like having a like the guy said, having the NBA championship outside.
right, right.
You know,
It don't make any sense. But the thing is,
no,
what are you
but you know something?
celebrating?
I give him credit because he's consistent. The shit he do don't make no sense, and this shit don't make no sense. So what can you
Sure
say?
don't. Mm-mm.
He's consistent on that point. He do shit.
No, it don't make any sense.
It don't have no reason, no rhyme or reason why he do it. He just think of shit and do it. You know, but anybody with any intelligence will think of something, and then they sit back and say, "Okay, sound like a good idea. What's the pros and cons of this? What can fall back on you with that? Make this a disaster? You don't think of that. You don't think like this, and that's the most craziest thing, because you're supposed to have, I'm gonna say, almost the most intelligent people around you, so you could make good decisions. He come up with something. You don't hear anybody correcting him, leading him in the right direction. And he said, let's go jump off the water. All of them say, all right, let's go jump off the water. You go first. I'll wait to see what happens. That's
Yeah.
their mentality. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. And I don't understand
asinine.
how these black talking heads just whatever he say, they come up with an excuse or a lie to just justify his stupidity. And
Well,
these
I
people
just
are
say this.
educated too. That education has
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
And some of them are good people.
They're
Remember
good
these.
educated. Yeah,
Even when slavery was here, you had some people that want to be their friends. They figure
yeah.
that if I go along with them, I can get along. They don't care about you. But sometimes we have to learn hard.
Yeah. Well, people are telling, there was a woman on there just talking about how, Trump plays in and out about the war. He says it's over. And then we're going to be signing any day now. And then when they don't sign, back and forth, okay, I'm going to blow you apart. And then they say, okay, he'll stop it, say, I'm not going to blow you apart. I'm going to give it, we got an agreement. It'll be another couple of days. He must have done that anywhere between 8 to 10 times. Now you hear today, once again, we are close. The Pakistani guy, a prime minister or whoever said, yeah, that we have agreed to a lot of the wording and it's going forth. And Trump says, yeah, we'll have something signed in a few days. Now, here's the kick. They may agree to the wording, but what does the wording say? The wording says, okay, we agree to stop fighting each other, and then we'll work on the fine tuning of the other stuff. But then again, we haven't totally agreed on anything. We just agreed to talk. All right. We agreed. I remember when they used to have peace talks years ago, sometimes it would take them a year just to say okay to the size and the shape of the table to sit down to talk to, you know? Okay, we'll agree to this round table and we'll agree to this table and we'll sit on this side and you'll sit on that side and we agree to have 10 people and it's okay for you to have 8 to 10 people, but no more than 12. I mean, all that kind of bullshit went on before you actually sit down. And that kind of stuff took years for the JPOC, whatever, the one the Obama deal with Iran. It took anywhere from 2 to 3 years and maybe more to even agree to the point that we'll sit down. Now, Trump is acting like we're going to agree and the war is over. But wait a minute. Didn't you say a week ago that there was no war?
Yep,
Didn't
he
you
did.
agree last year when you bombed the shit out of them and you said, oh, we bombed the shit out of them. So hell, they should be at the table. They don't have no nuclear stuff. Then you come back a few months later, they got nuclear stuff. So we're going to have to bomb them again. But wait a minute. When are we ever going to get the truth about what the hell's going on? Now, in the same aspect, them soldiers have been sitting on that ship over there since February. All right. So you got March, April, May, and June will be over in a few weeks. 4 months. And they still don't know what the hell's going on. And we don't know if then he says Iran wants to release of 300 billion of their frozen assets, but he talked about the Obama agreement. They were shipping crate loads of money to the $1 billion. One. No, let's say 400 million. I think it was 400 million. The 400 million that Obama gave Iran, they said, look, you sending them 400 million crates of money. That was their frozen assets. That was their money, which our banks froze. Now they're talking about, Iran is talking about 300 billion. And to put an asterisk on that, then they still want the America to send them over $30 billion just so they can restart their economy. That out of our pockets. What? What the hell is going on? And then you get this little half-ass white woman who got about as much sense as the gum stuck to the bottom of a desk says, yeah, but he's keeping Iran from nuking America. Shit, Iran never had the chance to nuke America. They never had nukes to nuke America.
My point exactly.
Yeah, they never had it. But she's going to lie, and some idiot out there is going to say, wow, that's right. Keeping Iran from nuking America. Iran couldn't even nuke Israel, and they right next fucking door to them. So come on, give us a break dealing with the lie. And I hear these black folks sit up there and go, yeah, at least he's doing what he's saying. He ain't said shit. He just running his damn mouth. And once again, we're
Well, that's
going with the lie.
well,
Because,
that's what he do best. He tell lies.
but when are we going to go for the truth? Now.
Well, if you're looking for it to come from them, it's not going to happen because that's not what they do. They tell lies and they tell lies and they continue to tell lies because they've been getting away with it for the longest. No accountability whatsoever. And some of them got good at it, telling lies because they can do it with a straight face.
But Anthony, with people, you'll get probably 100% agreement that politicians ain't shit. Okay. Politicians lie. They all say the same
Okay.
thing they do. If you know all that, when are you going to call out your politicians? When are the Republicans going to call out their own people?
Never. Long as I
You know?
hold the majority, I ain't going to rock the boat.
Yep, but you're the one sinking in the boat. When you going to call? When are the farmers? Now he came back from China and he says, "I got a deal from from China, Xi Jinping, that they're going to stop picking up soybeans. Buying soybeans and this and that from my farmer." okay? That man been back over a month and you ain't heard shit about that deal. And the farmers are still complaining of the high gas prices, the high prices for to produce their products. You ain't heard shit. But you
Yeah.
ain't heard shit from the farmers either. When are they gonna stand
Well,
up and call out these
like
people?
we said earlier, is that you got and they support him in what he do, right or wrong, they're gonna back him. And you have some of you have other people. I'm gonna just say some of, not all of them, but you got some of the farmers following right behind him. You don't want to say anything negative about this guy because they had so much of faith in him, and he showed them what he do to faith, kick it right in the teeth. He don't give a shit. He don't. And I'm not just saying that because I dislike him, which I do. His actions and conversations don't coincide. Now, when he say he gonna do something stupid, he do something stupid. When he come up talking about like he's trying to fix something, mend a broken fence,
Well, Anthony, when you don't call out the lie, you protect the lie by saying nothing. And that
but that's what
gives
you
the
got
lie
there.
viability, you know?
That I'm gonna have any truth in him.
Huh?
Listen, I was reading the other day where people are Albania, I think I said it right. They're revoking against Jerry.
About that island or someplace over in Europe somewhere. I can't think of the name of the country. Yeah.
But that's what they do. It's nothing but greed. It's hard to understand. No, it's not gonna say it's hard to understand. But it's sad that you see people that have so much and their own objective is to get more at any cost. They don't care what it takes to get it. Let me just get it. Got to step on somebody's back. Let me step on it.
But Anthony, what makes that thing about Kushner and the daughter of Taco Man so interesting? They went over on a vacation to this white country and it was on this island. And they liked the island so much it made them feel, oh, they were so comfortable. And we climbed the mountains in our bare feet. And it was just so we're gonna build a
Full of
resort
shit.
on it. Now, here's the thing about it. These are white folks that's saying, fuck that shit. No, you not. You ain't coming over here trying to talk. So, in other words, it's not just a racial thing with these assholes, it's a class thing. They're looking at these people in this country, this foreign country, as beneath them. I'm going to come up and take over your land, just take it on them. You don't appreciate it like I would appreciate it. What kind of shit is that? What kind of insult? And these people are just protesting by the hundreds of thousands. They're so pissed off about it. And you can't get these dumb son of a bitches here who are getting buried in pricing and lack of to even say anything. That's what's so ridiculous about it. They should be right now saying, man, get the fuck out the White House and take your ass someplace. Go down to Mar-a-Lago, all right, and put that damn wrestling cage up in front of your hotel instead of the White House. Have them the WWE fighting in front of your hotel, instead of the fucking
That's
White House, which is supposed to be the people's house. And then you take them knucklehead children of these assholes who go someplace else and say, you poor people, we're going to make your lives better by building a resort that you can't fucking go to. No attitude at all. It's just if
this.
you don't.
Yeah, people who just say this shit is just absolutely crazy. But this is what you got to keep talking about.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's so insane that it's unbelievable that you have somebody in such a high office in this country. You wouldn't think it, but we had some presidents do some crazy shit. Before. The shit he's doing is not I don't want to say unreal. I mean, yeah, it is unreal, but it's out there. Some of the presidents that did some crazy shit. He just outdone them. The things he do, he outdone every last one. Now, his intentions are to go down in history.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't even have a train of thought to lose because they don't even think. I mean, even with this wrestling thing, WWE in front of the White House, they invited a whole bunch of people so they could have people in the audience. And they handpicked, they got soldiers coming down there, but they handpicked them because they got to look like they got to be healthy looking. They got to look the right way. They can't be fat or oversized or this or
Image,
that.
image they portray, they want to portray. That's what
They
got to
want to
be.
portray, right, all
That's
this
what they got to be.
good looking America, you know, and that kind of crap, you know. At 250 years, we should take a good look at it and look at our wrongs and say, all right, this is what we did wrong over the past 250 years, and this is what we need to correct, to get right. We survived it. We survived what we did, the wrong that we did. We should look at what we did to the indigenous people. We should look and say these colonists were a bunch of fucking assholes, by the way, what they did to the indigenous people who saved their dumb lives because they couldn't survive the winters if the indigenous people didn't help them survive. And then after they helped them survive, they killed them. They wiped them out, you know? And then they say, oh, we did it for our own protection. They taught your dumb white ass how to farm. They taught you how to not farm, but survive and grow tobacco. And what did you do? You fucking killed them and then you made slaves out of them. All right. And you said, oh, look how they did us. And then you look in the damn movies and you see, oh, man, the Indians, they captured these settlers and look at them. They're burning them at the stake or they're stabbing them and did that. How many fucking you pioneers killed indigenous people that way by burning them, you know, and going through the what you did to yourselves about the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts. Oh, man, these people are rich. You're brought over. You're talking about the immigrants. We don't want the bad. We only want the good immigrants, but we don't want all we're getting is the bad immigrants, the rapists, the murderers, the killers. What the fuck were you guys when you came to this country? Rapists, murderers, pillagers. But you didn't want people who were like you. Admit it. They don't want to.
No, and that's what we talked about earlier. Their lies.
Mm-hmm.
It's the image they keep trying to portray. And you know something? The sad thing about it is when you find somebody tries so hard to convince you about what they think, feel, and believe. And you saying to yourself, okay, that's your shit. That's not my shit. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think like that. They take shit and they take people for granted
Mm-hmm.
to where they can continue to do what they do and lose people. Missed the class the other day. The minister that I used to follow, he was giving the class. I don't know if he was giving it, but he knew of some people that was giving the class. Just a meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I bring that up is because, you know, I I regret missing it. You know, but be honest, I got caught up in the game, so that's one of the reasons why I missed it. But the fact of it is that I believe that these times you need something like that, to distract your mind from all the bullshit that's going on today, help you refocus on what you need to focus. That was, I'm gonna say, maybe about 30 minutes, 30, 25 minutes, and maybe say 2 weeks. I'm gonna find some time to go get me a massage. And I'm just talking about these things because I think that, these are things that I'm gonna say normal people should do. So you have a way of having some kind of peace of mind living in this United States. And I don't want to say mine, but the guy that's supposed to be running the country and his cronies, that's what they are, a bunch of cronies. You couldn't call none of them friend because my definition of a friend is somebody's gonna hold you accountable for your shit. He don't get that. They tell
No.
him what he want to hear.
But Anthony, they don't hold the cronies accountable. See, Trump is at a state, he could give a rat's ass what you think. All he's worried about is his legacy. having his name on everything, having his picture on everything. He's looking at his legacy and look what I did. I'm the great president. No other president have done what I did. But the people who support him, what are they doing about it?
Nothing.
Why aren't the people going at them? Why are they allowing them to be that way? Now, these Republican legislatures, they're not having town halls. Whenever they have a town hall, they get their butt burned and chewed out. So they're not having them because they don't want the world to see how a
They don't
lot of
want to
those
hear
people are
the truth.
angry. Right. They don't want people to see the truth and pissed off about it. But this is a forgiving country. Now, you'll get it to the point where even if the war stops, all right, even if the war stops and Iran says, okay, we're going to open up the strait and we're not going to search nuclear stuff, do you know all these people will say, good. See, I told you we could trust Trump, and now we're okay. Everything's back to normal. The fuck it ain't back to normal. It
Just like you
ain't.
said, this if the war did stop,
Yeah.
they would praise him up
Right.
and down.
Right.
You
Look what
know,
he
like he's
did.
the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, but he started the shit unnecessarily, you know?
He had that John Wayne attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
And I'm not saying that John Wayne was a bad man, but when John Wayne played the cowboy, he was the shit. And that's what you see out of Trump.
Yeah, but then John Wayne also said that he don't he don't understand why the Indians was mad at the pioneers and the settlers because he said there was people who needed some land. They needed some space to grow, and the Indians were being selfish. What the fuck? Being selfish?
They didn't know who they was dealing with. They
They
didn't know.
took it,
Like they
you
said,
know?
white man speak with forked tongue. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed. And if you listen to a lot of movies, they sometimes you'll see a truth come out where no matter where they went, they always talk about beware of the white man because he's the devil in disguise. He's a devil in disguise. Now, are we saying all white men are like that? No, we're not. But I tell you what, ain't enough of them standing up.
No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
This needs
Ain't
to
enough.
be no, it's not enough. But I just believe that, I don't it might sound far fetched, but I was listening to the sister speak and she was talking about instead of depending on this two-party system, which is corrupt as
Uh-huh.
hell, she,
Mm-hmm.
she should have their own independent system. I mean, it's a lot of red tape they gotta go through, but shit. I think it's better than what we got now,
Well,
at the alternative.
yeah, understand this two-party system basically came from England, all right? Because you got to remember the majority of the so-called pioneers came from England when they had the Whigs and the Tories. They basically had a two-party system there, all right? So a
Right.
lot of that came here. Now, some of the Constitution they got from an Indian tribe. I can't remember, was it in Pennsylvania or, but see, they had tribes here that had constitution. They had indigenous people that had laws. And they were clean. One of the things the indigenous people talked about was how nasty and dirty the colonists were. They didn't bathe. They didn't know how to bathe. As a matter of fact, they drank the water they shit and pissed in, you know? So it showed you right there how those people were, you know? So it's ridiculous, man. It really is.
Yeah. No change. No
But
change whatsoever.
my frustration is it's easy for me to sit back and say, okay, well, I got my shit. Fuck the rest of them. Well, you know what? It's going to come around and get you, man. There is no island you can go to where you won't be affected by another island or country or person somewhere around the world. And you see that. When that man went to China, it had an effect on us. When he tried to go to Greenland and take Greenland, it had an effect on us. It all has an effect on us, man. Even the Ukraine and Russia have an effect on us, you know? So you gotta, no man is an island and no man really truly walks alone. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. How's the weather out there, my brother?
Oh man, it's lovely. I was standing up because I got some shorts, but I want to show you my good looking legs.
Man, I don't want to go. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the line, okay? Because you see how you added right to it again. You went right back to the line. It don't take much, you know. Man, God, Lord help me,
But,
scare me,
but you,
I
you
tell
asked
you.
me about the weather, and I'm trying to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but then you started lying about your legs. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't even want to see it.
You want to see
Let's
them?
put it that way. Hell, don't do that to me, man. This is a good show. We allow a little cussing, but we ain't gonna allow no ugly sights of torture to the to whoever may be watching. We'll leave that alone, okay? But it is smoking here. It's smoking hot here right now, but it's gonna get worse. I don't know, man. We
Yeah,
we
just got
we
finished
got
getting some rain.
it's what? Say
Y'all
that
just
again?
got finished getting some rain. Right?
No, not really. It rained something maybe north of me, but so far it's been pretty dry. We get a lot of heavy humidity, but other than that, we haven't had no rain yet. We're supposed to get probably a bunch of it on Sunday, you know. But I'm gonna get outside, work the yard, this, that, or whatever.
Not mix that humidity.
That humidity is off the chain, man. Off the chain. You hear about these, what are these worms? Not worms, but something affecting the cattle down in Texas.
I hear nothing
It's
about it.
what's that called? It's a certain bug, I think, or something that they cut the Doge cut the program, ripped the program out, and now it's having an effect on the cattle. So there's a possibility that your beef prices may go up some more. Okay. Yo, let me tell you this. I was in the store even earlier today. Now, do you know Angus beef? Angus beef's supposed to be a higher quality meat. Am I right? Than just regular hamburger, right? It's more
Mhm.
expensive, right? Hell, I can get a pound of Angus beef cheaper than I can get a pound of cheap ass hamburger.
Tell
Cheap
you
ass
something.
hamburger, the Angus beef was costing me seven something, 750, 760 something a pound. And if I bought it, and the other stuff was costing 798 a pound, I mean, what kind of crap is that? It don't make no sense. And oxtails, man, oxtails are damn near $11 a pound. I saw an oxtail pack, two medium, and the rest was small. Looked like just a piece of bone. You didn't know what the hell was any meat on it or not. Unbelievable the crap. And how we like oxtails. Our people like oxtails, right? Well, shit, everybody should like oxtails. But you can't buy that. If I was to buy oxtails for this house, oh shit, I would have to spend $150 just to have a decent meal and one
Per,
side
per
left over.
person. Per person.
Yeah, crazy, crazy. Then you got people talking about, well, I don't eat pork, so I ain't buying no pork. Well, baby, right now that's the cheapest cut out there. It's the cheapest cut out there. And then I hear, I'm chicken. I'm tired of chicken. Then why do we, when we go to the buffet, your black ass order chicken?
First thing they grab for ass
What
for
the
is
hell you
chicken.
first thing you grab is chicken? Went to a buffet last week. You had a line waiting for them to bring out chicken. I'm like, man, y'all eat chicken all the time. And then you stand in line for that. Okay, so stop complaining about what you eat and try to do the best you can to eat. You got to shop. You got to shop right, you know?
Yeah, you do. Because if you
So,
don't, I ain't
hell,
seen nothing
man,
about the.
it's I can't think of the name of this. I don't think it's a worm. I think it's a bug. It's something, and it's down in Texas. And they've stopped any beef coming from across the border from Mexico because this thing was licked. All right, before Trump them, before Doge, eliminated the program.
Yep.
Right, which was costing probably around $24 million, a year to treat do this and that. Now it's going to cost over 200 million to get everything back in order again. Point I'm making is this: there's so much going on around you. Even if you stop the war, there's still so much crap that's happening. There's no time to forgive this man. No forgiveness is not needed. And I don't want anybody from the church talking about, well, God forgives. Well, then let them meet God and let him forgive right now. But don't give any forgiveness to all the crap that's going on. And just because one thing may get settled, that don't mean 99 other things still go untouched or lied upon, or you protecting the untruth. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and ever since that son bitch left New York, the Knicks, they won again.
Who you
I
like?
mean,
Who you like?
I don't care. I really don't care who wins. All right, it ain't the Bulls. It ain't the Falcons. I'm not Falcons. I mean is it the Falcons? Atlanta
Hawks.
Hawks. I mean, yeah, okay, it ain't the Hawks. I don't give a. Right now I have a hard time cheering for multimillionaires who work for billionaires. I kind of have a hard time cheering for them. I know people say, "Well, you selfish. That's my team. I'm not up." You know what? If you can't afford a ticket to go to the damn game, then hey, I'm sorry. But then again, what you got to pay for cable or satellite or anything else just to watch them on TV. People don't talk about how expensive that is also, you
Yeah,
know?
tickets is expensive.
Yeah, everything's
Shit.
expensive for these people. They get contracts to show the game on TV, and then you got to pay through the nose to watch them on TV. Come on, fellas. Let's make some sense out of this, Yeah. You got to pay that streaming fee, all right? And then they bundle, you got to bundle it with some shit you don't want,
Yeah.
And
All that
then it keeps
they
going up
bundle
and
it.
up
No, no,
and
no, no.
up.
You bundle it. They got all these things that you can get in a bundle, but you're paying for each one of them.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
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 it's it's
it's
crazy, man.
it's the same thing as having HBO, Max, Showtime, all of them. It's the same thing.
Hmm.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know, man. It's just to enjoy the things we want in life, you got to sacrifice for it. I mean, people talk about Disney. To go to Disney, you got to be a billionaire to go down there.
well,
And if you
especially in
got a
Florida.
fam, and if you got a
No, and
family,
even when I hear it ain't cheap. It's not
yeah.
cheap. Shit
But down in
costs.
Florida, you crazy. And then, I was reading something about these cruises. You pay an arm and a leg to go on these cruises, and man, it's like you at Disney. It's all packed up with people, and you can't get through, and it's crazy. Then you want to sit back home and say, okay, I'm just gonna sit at home and just watch TV and eat and just mind my own business. And hell, I can't tell you the last time I barbecue because I can't afford to buy all that damn meat. So it's crazy because I smoke my vegetables, I smoke my meat, I do that. It's just too expensive. It's just too expensive to do
It
all
is.
that,
Gotta
you know?
I throw some chicken out there and be done with it. Some vegetables.
Chicken? Man, we tired of chicken, man. You don't need to get no chicken. Come on, get them ribs, brother. Get them. You know what? How much does
Well,
a slab of rib
I'm glad
cost you?
I don't know. I don't know the last time I ate a rib. It's a long time. But, I don't eat that much of red meat. And I will eat some lamb, some goat, fish,
Oh,
chicken.
my mistake. I forgot. What was I thinking? You out there in California.
That
You
shit
got that. What's the name of that fruit, y'all, that food, y'all, begin with the A? What's the name of that son bitch? It begins
avocado.
with
You right.
yeah, that's you,
Yeah,
Avocado
yeah.
Anthony. You're daggone right. I went to the farmer's market to get some vegetables. I saw that avocado. I threw it against the wall. Man said, man, why you threw that against the wall? I said, because I got to go later on today and talk to this guy from California. He said, give me one. He threw it against the wall too.
Lying, lying ass.
Ain't that what we
Is
talking
one
about
lying ass.
today? Ain't that what we talking about today, my brother?
You ain't throw shit against the wall. Your ass be you wouldn't be here today if you did. Cut that out. Well, listen, bro.
Yeah,
It's
man.
been a blessing to talk to your old crabby ass again today.
Gee, see, now y'all getting me all warm and fuzzy. You ain't got to be that way.
Yeah, there ain't
I
nothing
know
warm and
about
fuzzy.
me.
Ain't nothing warm and fuzzy about your ass. Nothing. Nothing. I'm
Well,
gonna tell
man,
you
I
that now.
appreciate you.
Next time the
I
thought like
appreciate
come in your head, that just slap yourself, because that shit ain't true. But
No,
anyway,
I only slap myself when I go to the store and gotta buy something. It slap myself to wake up. What the hell am I doing here? So but anyway, listen, I know we talked about the show today and everything still kind of related to the lie and our people because we fall into place and we live the lie too. Holidays come up and we act like we're celebrating something that's positive for us. But when you start digging deep into it, is it really positive for us? So I don't know, man.
most no, it's not positive, especially we don't believe that shit. We have to
Yeah,
stay true to ourselves, who we are,
we do.
and be that way.
And guess what? A holiday coming
Listen,
up
they
and you
gonna do
ain't
what they
heard
gonna
shit
do
about it.
because they're gonna do what they're gonna do because that's what they used to. Lie,
Yeah,
cheat, steal.
what holiday is coming up soon? Juneteenth.
Yep.
All right. And this some bitch is putting up a WWE playground in front of the White House to celebrate his fucking birthday. Now you tell me something. And Juneteenth is more important to us than that fucking orange ass's birthday.
Well, you
You
know
know what I
something?
mean?
I go to my backyard and cook something, and that's more important to me. Cause what he do don't really matter. Cause
Hell, I could
that
take
shit.
a good dump and it's more important than his birthday. But I shouldn't say
Yep.
that, but I did because I feel good
Why
about
not?
it. Why not? My brother, thank you for the conversation. I want you to enjoy the rest of your weekend. This has been Mended Men's Conversation, and this is not for therapy. The only therapy is for us to get shit off our chest because we feel like it in our conversation, just like you do when you're at home in the barber shop, in the car with somebody, your old lady, your kids, your partner, and you're talking shit when you're watching the basketball game. It's just conversation. My
There
name
you
is
go.
Titus Garnett.
And I'm Anthony Washington on Mended Men's Conversation. Join us next week in conversation. Like I said, this is a way to get some shit off your chest. Speak how you feel. Good to hear what other people think, feel, and believe.
All right. Take care now. See you later.
Welcome to Mended Men's Conversation, life lessons and legacies, where real men have real conversations. In every episode, we dive deep into the struggles, victories, and lessons that shape us as men. From mental health and fatherhood to faith, identity, and purpose, we are breaking the silence and starting the conversations that matter. Between us is over 12 years of professional experience and more than 140 years of combined life experience as fathers, sons, brothers, husbands, friends, and educators. We know that healing starts with an honest dialogue. So let's get real. Let's get ready. Let's grow together. This is Mended Men's Conversation.